Hello everyone and welcome to Memory Flow, where we discuss fragrance and fragrance collecting. We have a lot to unpack today. These are the latest launches in the new La et la Matiere line from Guerlain. These are the 3 Oud fragrances that they've launched earlier this year. I've only got the chance to smell them now, thanks to Steven from Place Vendôme, who was kind enough to include these samples with my purchase of Shalimar Millésime Tonka, which is gorgeous, by the way. Hope you've seen my video. I am very much in awe with that fragrance. However, and this is I guess the downside of having to film videos both in Romanian and in English in order to maybe spread the joy as much as possible, because I've already smelled these fragrances in the previous video and it will not be a new thing for me anymore. I already know what they smell like and how they are, but hopefully I'll be able to describe them a bit better maybe, but then again, it's always nice to maybe get back to them, see how they evolved a lot longer and some such. So let's start with Nude, Oud Nude. That's the one. I already have them sprayed here, already have them branded. So Oud Nude, it's an interesting thing with Oud Nude, because from the get-go, all of them, to some degree, all of the fragrances, all Cherry Oud, Oud Khôl, and Oud Nude, have a hint of rose in them, and I was kind of expecting this from Guerlain. It's a bit cliche. Let's be real. Then again, it does. It's about oud. Rose complements oud very well. It's very easy to blend them in this way, so I'm not at all surprised. Then again, Oud Nude does smell good. It's newish. It's newish in terms of scent, in terms of what you can smell from Guerlain. And what I did find interesting is that at the beginning it was very reminiscent of La Petite Robe Noire, the Eau de Parfum, and then gradually it sort of blended into this weird blend, then again, between La Petite Robe Noire and Habit Rouge Eau de Parfum, which is very interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's very Guerlain, and it does have, in the beginning, the oud is a lot more present, even on paper. I have yet to test this on skin, but I will in due time. Interesting. There's some sweet, I guess, patchouli almost something here. I'll have to look at the notes because I haven't. So yeah, it's very interesting, and the oud kind of goes back into the background. It's a lot more muted as time passes, and it's just there to kind of round up the fragrance and it gives it a lot more depth and a lot more body, right? So it is not at all a heavy fragrance. It's quite, as the title, it's Oud Nude, right? It's a nude type of sensual, almost skin tone, skin-like scent. It's very discreet, albeit quite powerful, very subtle. It's good. It's a good fragrance. Let me go to the page if I can find it. Yeah, so the notes for this are bourbon, vanilla, almond, which is true. Yeah, it is true. That's why I get this La Petite Robe Noire vibe, because it's almondy, cherry / raspberry rosy type of scent, right? Then oud, sandalwood, raspberry, cedar, and rose. And the rose is quite prominent. It's quite more prominent in the start, and then it dies down. It rounds up the fragrance. It's good, and it is quite vanillic, and it is quite almondy, and it's a happy scent. It's joyous. It's vivacious, right? It's something you could easily wear. And that, so there's also some interesting undertones of vanilla, which do remind me of Spiritueuse Double Vanille. That's right. It's the bourbon vanilla. It's the boozy vanilla, which is quite fresh. It's interesting. It's sexy. It has that nice little twist there. And it is quite, another fragrance that this reminds me of is Mon Exclusif, which was the precursor to Mon Guerlain, if you know it. If not, the most similar thing you could find is Mon Guerlain, the EDP, which is quite similar to Mon Exclusif, but I do find that it lacks that sparkling boozy vanilla, which is so good, and you can find that here. And yeah, it's woody. This is why it reminds me of that woody vanillic rose from Habit Rouge. It's good. It's great. Yeah, very Guerlain. I'm getting to know them a lot better in this video, so good for me. Maybe I'll learn even more. Now let's smell Cherry Oud, which is right here, and I have it here on the blotter. So Cherry Oud. Cherry Oud started as a huge velvety rose that kind of took over very, very fast, and it very quickly reminded me of Rose Barbare from the same collection. Then it kind of moved more towards French Kiss and Rose Chérie because of that cherry / raspberry note, which is very much like this one here in Nude, Oud Nude. They're sister fragrances. By the way, they're kind of in the same tone in the beginning, but this one, Cherry Oud, goes even more into leathery, musky, dirty territory. So then it reminded me quite a lot of the Absolu d'Orient collection, the way that they did the rose in Musc Noble. Musc Noble, that's a big rose, a big velvety, dirty, musky, animalic rose. And this one isn't that far off. However, as it dries down, it reminds me even more of another fragrance from Les Absolus d'Orient, which is Cure Intense. So in Cure Intense, if you amp up the rose, mute the osmanthus, this is what you get. It's very leathery, not that oudy, quite dirty, funky, musky, whatever. It's an interesting fragrance, albeit quite similar to my nose to Cure Intense, which I already have. So I don't know if that's let's see if that is discontinued. Cure Intense. Well, it's not. Doesn't seem to be. No, it doesn't seem to be. You can buy it, Cure Intense. So my opinion is if you want to save some money, do smell both of them and decide, because Guerlain is a lot cheaper than this cherry oud. And it also, because of that osmanthus, it also has this fruity kind of top note, but that goes more into apricot, into that, you know, thing that osmanthus does in perfumery, than cherry / raspberry. But it's still a nice fruity, fresh kind of scent, although Guerlain is too much for me. It's too much, and the leather in here is a lot less annoying than in Guerlain. Yeah, so it's much easier to pull off. But it's still something for the leather fans, right? It's not something for everybody. So now let's go to Oud Khôl. Oud Khôl. Now this is something, I have it sprayed here as well. It's God. I don't know. This took me by surprise quite a lot, because it's quite different from anything I've smelled, both lately and from Guerlain. And curiously enough, they do smell quite similar both on skin and on paper. It's not something that usually happens, but it's curious nonetheless. But I do want to refresh the opening for this one, because the opening is so good. It's so interesting. Not saying that the middle, whatever I have here, isn't perfect. It's perfection. But the opening is just so interesting, and it's so captivating, and it's so difficult. It was so difficult for me to place. Because as I said, I haven't smelled anything like this before. Anything at all. Let me go to the Guerlain page for this. Oud Khôl. This smells like nothing I've smelled from them, from Guerlain. It's completely new. Then again, it does have the necessary, I don't know, references maybe to kind of integrate it into the la Matiere, maybe, but the house definitely, right? So this is an olfactory celebration of the color black. Oud Khôl reveals the most beautiful facets of dark oud. Now let me tell you, this is extremely resinous. It's extremely dark, not at the beginning, because the beginning is very it's soapy, aldehydic. It's very much reminiscent of the vintage way of doing fragrances. It's quite similar to Liu or Chanel No. 5. It's that jasmine, white flowery, aldehydic, soapy kick, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting thing to smell in a fragrance dedicated to oud. So in terms of I don't know, originality, it is amazing. It is just, it's stunning. Then it has this, it goes more and more down to the forest floor type of smell. It's a fougere slash chypre base, because of that oak moss, which is again very mushroomy, and it's deep and sticky and resinous and interesting. It's green but not quite, and that soapiness from the aldehydes, it's just so beautifully blended. It's amazing. This was, as you can tell, my favorite of the bunch. It's just great. And after a while, I realized what it kind of reminded me of, the whole structure of the fragrance kind of reminds me of Opium by Yves Saint Laurent. It reminds me of Opium, right? It's because what helped me go into the direction of Opium is, after a while, I got this candle wax. This beeswax candle wax smell, you know, when you rub your finger on a beeswax candle, and it has that exact smooth feeling of and the smell of candle wax. Also, together with the burnt candle smell, it's good. It's very, very good. So yeah, sorry about my nose. I'm on the last mile of of a cold, of a weird cold that I got. It wasn't anything serious, but it did keep me quite. It lasted for almost 2 weeks like this, and it was quite annoying. But it's going away now. But the fragrances are just clogging up my nose. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, the fragrance it reminds me of the way that Opium was done, together with the aldehydes, together with the way that you know, Opium has Muguet, Lily of the Valley accord, that's just trapped in amber and church-like incense, and this has a soapy jasmine, that kind of soapy aldehydic jasmine that kind of does the same thing, and it is amazing. The structure is the same, it's almost the same, but the smell, of course, is different, because it does have this oh, did they mention Anish Kapoor? Oh my god, I don't believe it. Because they say that if this were a color, it would be the pitch black attributed to Anish Kapoor. I have some pictures. I will add them because I've seen a beautiful exhibition from Anish Kapoor in the Biennale in Venice. Amazing, right? It's the beyond black. Anish Kapoor does this almost geometric kind of color that is beyond black, and it's different from the concept of outre noir. I forgot the artist, unfortunately, that does that concept of outre noir, beyond black. It's something else, but Anish Kapoor does this textured black color that absolutely does not emit any light back. There's no reflection in that black. Dark, truly dark. Unfortunately, the pictures that I have will not, you know, render it faithfully, because it's something that the camera cannot capture. But Anish Kapoor is a very interesting artist when it comes to colors and shapes and textures, and the way he works with shapes. Very good. So I encourage you to search for Anish Kapoor artwork, because it's quite interesting. Yeah, so an Anish Kapoor fragrance, yeah, definitely throw it my way. This is something I might be purchasing. So this was a collection, I guess, because it is a collection, you know, where they launched 3 fragrances at once. I do admit, when I heard of 3 ouds from Guerlain, I wasn't excited. Not at all, because it's not 2014 anymore. Although Oud is, you know, quite interesting. To most people, I guess it's something that's very sought after. It's not necessarily my cup of tea. I don't mind it, but it's not something I look for in fragrance. And also, I do have to comment on this, that bringing Oud into La Matiere has nothing to do with beloved materials to Guerlain, because Guerlain haven't previously worked with oud before, as far as I know. But then again, the fragrances are okay for the most part, and I'm talking about cherry oud and Oud Nude. But Oud Khôl is amazing. It's yeah. I do love it quite a lot. So it's probably something I will have to purchase at some point. Hopefully we will get to see 50 milliliter bottles from this collection, because as they stand, they are quite expensive, and the big bottles, the 100 and 200 milliliters, they are quite prohibitive in terms of pricing. So here's hoping. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say about them. It's interesting. As I said, two of them are interesting, good, but this one is Oud Khôl is something that truly is up my alley. So I hope you've took something out of this video, maybe help you decide, maybe get to know them a little more. I do encourage you to smell them if you can, and do let me know if you have any opinions of them, and maybe what's going on with this Guerlain Renaissance, because we are witnessing some sort of Guerlain Renaissance with the rebranding of the new Matiere line. So yeah, there's something going on there. They are plunging into the mainstream with Oud now. They say they are claiming that they are even more exclusive and more reclusive, but I find that it's quite the opposite. However, truth be told, Oud Khôl is, yeah, it's very good, right? So do let me know in the comments, and if you have any other questions, I will answer them. And until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.